You know, it seems like we hear a lot of talk in relationships about forgiveness and how you have to forgive your partner, or you have to forgive their family, or you have to forgive your best friend. But we don't talk a lot about the importance of self-forgiveness. You know, when you look at depression scores and you look at anger and behaviors that were done out of anger, resentment, revenge, it comes back to one starting point. It's about self-forgiveness. Many times, people who aren't able to forgive themselves are holding on to a past mistake or reminding themselves what a failure they were or how bad of a person they are. It's because the anger that they carry with them is a manifestation that that person did not take time to really process and forgive themselves. They're still carrying that around. And when people carry around thoughts that they're broken, that they're just a bad person, that they make mistakes, they hurt others, then they will feel anger. They'll feel bitter, they'll feel resentful, they won't trust people, they'll avoid people, they'll act out with people, they'll try to hurt someone else the way they're being hurt inside by their own prison they've created, because they cannot let go, they cannot forgive themselves. When you forgive yourselves, it's important that you acknowledge you're a good person, but you screwed up. If children are raised with the idea that they have to be ashamed, they're ashamed of themselves, shame is completely different. It tells the person listening to it that I'm a bad person. There's no hope for me. I'm broken. I'm just a shameful, worthless person. And so it's important we understand that guilt is actually a good feeling. It means, well, it's not a good feeling, it doesn't feel good, but it does mean that you see what happened as separate from your normal good self. You think you're a good person, but you acknowledge, I really screwed up and it's bugging me, it's eating away at me. I need to make amends and resolve this. And that's why I would really like to encourage people, if they do feel guilty, it's a healthy part of their consciousness telling them, you know what, you need to clear this up. You need to resolve this. You need to resolve it, go to the person you offended or you made a mistake with and make amends. And the reason for that is so you can be free. So you're not carrying that around. So you're not using that as fuel for anger, bitterness, resentment, or whatever you're dragging with that unforgiveness into your next relationship. So let's talk about how we do this. How do we self-forgive? How do we finally let go of the mistakes we made? Well, it's a process like everything. And going to therapy is going to be the best thing because you can go through the process with your therapist. You'll probably discover a lot of other messages that were given to you as a child or a young adult that you needed to deal with anyway, but you didn't. But if you're trying to do this on your own, you can do this. You can practice these new tools that are actually going to help you in the future let go of some of this past baggage that doesn't belong in your present or your future. The first thing is you need to understand what you're feeling. You need to understand the difference between guilt and shame. You need to understand why this is still egging you, why this is still on your heart, why you can't let go of it, what part of it is stuck on you. Secondly, you need to accept responsibility for your actions. No one is perfect. No one behaves perfectly all the time, does the right thing, says the right thing. When we make a mistake, it is only proof of our humanness. But if you make a mistake and blame others or shift the blame to some situation that wasn't yours, then you're getting further away from the ability to forgive yourself. And remember, the task at hand is to forgive ourselves. So you have to accept responsibility for the action you did that was hurtful. Treat yourself with kindness and compassion. If a friend did that, if someone you really love did the same thing, you would forgive them. You would say, I forgive you. If they came for you with amends, you would say, I forgive you. So forgive yourself. Come to yourself. Write out a script if you need to. I need to forgive. In my case, it would be, Mary Jo, I need to forgive you. And I would read it to myself. I'm writing it, and I would read it. You messed up with such and such and such, but you're overall a good person. And this was a mistake you made. And I want to tell you, I am sorry. It's as simple as that. Write out a script for yourself. Express remorse for your mistake. Tell yourself how sorry you are you did it, what you could have done instead, what it did to your life, how it hurt you, how it hurt the other person, and what you tried to do from that mistake onward. What did it teach you? It's important, once again, to write that out and verbally say it to yourself so that yourself can forgive it. Somehow when you hear it, when it's written, you're able to say, God, I forgive you. Like, yes, let this go. Make amends and apologize. Apologize, and that's going to be writing out your own apology to yourself. I'm sorry this has kept you up. I'm sorry this has been on your heart this long. I'm sorry you weren't able to see a way out and you allowed it to limit other relationships. I'm sorry for, the other mistakes this might have caused in your feeling valued, your feeling loved. Whatever it is that is part of the amends, you need to write it out and say it, just as you would if you were saying it to your very best friend. Because in the end, we have to advocate for ourselves. We have to own our mistakes, our dark side, our shadow self, as Jung would say. But at the same time, we need also to forgive ourselves. Because if we can't forgive ourselves, how can we possibly forgive our best friend, our partner, our children? And all of these forgivenesses are going to matter in life. Otherwise, we can never hope to sustain a healthy, loving relationship. Learn from the experience. Write that out. What did you learn? What did you learn from what you did, the mistake, the forgiveness? What did it teach you? And keep that in your heart, mind, and soul so you don't forget it. Because going forward, you're going to have to forgive many people. You're going to have to forgive yourself more. You're not just going to make one mistake in life. You're going to make many. And each one is just as painful because you're a good person overall. And it hurts to make a mistake. It hurts to hurt someone else. We aren't wired that way. We're wired to love and connect with others. And that's why forgiveness is such a vital part of all of this. And lastly, try to do better. Make a mission to do better. Write down your goals, how you're going to improve it, how you're going to make it better. But don't keep going on with it or perseverating or, overthinking it. Because you, like me, we mess up. We're imperfect people, and that's okay. It's how we're created. But forgiveness is a vital part of that, as I already mentioned. And so, yes, we're going to make mistakes, but yes, we have to forgive as well. And that's what makes us into better humans to be with and humans to co-create a healthy relationship with. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you so much.